Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make your own DIY hand wash. This is a very easy to make hand wash you can use at home for personal use. Remember, this is not a retail grade project, but it's a fantastic DIY project. So what we are going to use today, we're only going to use about 5 ingredients, and they are simple to source. Now our first ingredient is going to be anhydrosol. Remember, I told you on this channel that anhydrosol is different from floral water. Floral water has toxic chemical, while hydrosol is a product or byproduct of essential oil distillation. So we are going to use neroli hydrosol. So that is going to be our replacement for water. If you do not have an hydrosol, make sure you go for distilled water. And we're going to use vegetable glycerin. We are using the USP version because that's the version we use to make beauty products. So we are going to use vegetable glycerin 99.7 USP version. Then the next ingredient we are going to use is clear xanthan gum USP. I've introduced this to you on this channel severally. This is the right grade of xanthan gum to use to make beauty products. It's going to create crystal clear products in gel-like form. Okay, you will love it. So that's what we're going to use as our thickener. This is a powerful thickener for any product that has surfactants. Then our surfactant of choice, okay, our cleansing agent of choice is cocoa glucoside. Okay, cocoa glucoside is our surfactant of choice. It's an excellent former. It's good enough to be used for any DIY project. So that's why we are going to use it. Finally, we are going to use our preservative. Our preservative of choice is Euxil P9010, an excellent preservative that you can use to preserve your homemade beauty products. Okay, we're going to use this also. So that's all we are going to use. At this stage we don't need any fragrance because we are using hydrosol. If you use hydrosol, you need no fragrance. Okay, the fragrance of the hydrosol is going to show in our final product. So that's why we are not using any other fragrance. Now, everything I use today, okay, you can find them at pureblendnaturals.com. So look in the description box below for where to find everything I use in this project. This is a very highly effective hand wash you can use in the washroom and also in the kitchen, right? Especially during this COVID time, you need to wash your hands all the time, so you need to use it. So without wasting much of your time, let's get started. The first thing you want to do is to get a clean beaker. Okay, you're wondering what kind of scale I'm using here. I've already introduced this to you on this channel. Is a scout scale for cosmetic formulation. Look at my previous video, you see me recommend different scout scale to you. This is one of them. Okay, so what you want to do first is to measure your gum. Okay, we are using clear xanthan gum USP, so we are going to measure that. So take your formulation note and note all this down because I will not be repeating them after this, and it will not be available in the description section. This is to encourage you to watch this video. So measure 3 grams of clear xanthan gum USP. Clear xanthan gum USP can be found at pureblendnaturals.com. Pure Blend Natural is the only available supplier for this ingredient here in Canada and the USA. So clear xanthan gum USP. This is the best thickening agent for your surfactants. Okay. So that you're going to add glycerin to it. So we're going to add 3 grams. So I measure 3 grams of clear xanthan gum USP. Then we are going to add 3 grams of glycerin to it. Why do we have glycerin? Glycerin is going to prevent it from forming clumps. And don't forget, make sure you use USP grade of glycerin. That is the best grade to use for making beauty product. So we're going to mix that. Make sure your gum and the glycerin is covered, okay? See what it turned into, that's perfect. So mix it well. This will help it prevent clumping. There will be no lump in it eventually when we are mixing it with other ingredients. So that's our first step. Then we're going to add 201 grams of hydrosol too. So you can use any hydrosol depending on the smell you want, okay? You can use peppermint hydrosol, you can use lavender hydrosol, and so on. So you can use chamomile hydrosol. But head over to pureblendnatural.com, one of the authentic supplier, okay, of hydrosol here in Canada and the USA. So we're using Neroli hydrosol by Pure Blend Natural. So measure 201 grams of Neroli hydrosol. And the next thing we're going to do is to mix until we get a clear gel. Mix well until you get a clear gel. And at this phase, you can bring in your blender to blend it well. You can bring in your blender to blend it well. So I'm going to transfer it into a plastic so as to aid my blending. I would like to blend this very well. Now, you ask me, how can I escape this blending? What you can do, then you can use more glycerin, but I don't recommend it. So for this project, we're going to do some blending because we are not using a lot of glycerin. But if you are making other product that you can use more than 5% glycerin, then you have no problem. But because we use little amount of glycerin, that's why our gum is clumping here. So we're going to blend it until we have a smooth gel. So at this stage we are done blending. Then we are going to add our next set of ingredients to complete our hand wash. Let's transfer this back into the beaker. Then we're going to add our next ingredient, which is our surfactant. Our next ingredient is our surfactant, so we're going to add our surfactant. We're using cocoa glucoside, okay? We're using it at 30%, but because we're making 300 grams of this hand wash, we are going to measure 90 grams of cocoa glucoside. $90 grams of cocoa glucoside. Then you're going to mix that gently, okay? Anytime you add surfactant into your mixture, you have to be careful and mix gently to prevent excess foaming. And don't worry if you have some foam, it's going to settle in about 24 to 48 hours. So no need to worry if you have some foam, okay? If it's a commercial setting, they use vacuum mixer, but because this is a DIY setting, we are just mixing it manually. Gentle mixing. So now second to the last, our last ingredient now is a preservative. Preservative is going to prevent mold from growing. Remember, we have water in our product. Hydrosol has a lot of water content, so that's why anytime you use any product that has water, and surfactants too usually have some water content, so make sure you protect yourself and use a strong preservative. And that's why we recommend Euxil 90 or PE 9010. So we're going to add our 1% because we're making 300 grams. We are going to add 3 grams. 3 grams of Euxil PE preservative. Every ingredient I use for this simple yet effective hand wash projects are available at pureblendnaturals.com. So mix it also gently. So finally, I recommend that you, on your own, check the pH and adjust it to around 5 to 5.5. Okay, do not let it be too acidic. You want it to be in between 5 to 5.5 or maximum of 6.0. Okay, remember we want it to clean our hands without stripping it off. If it's too acidic, it's going to make your hand too dry. Okay, if it's too alkaline, it's also going to contribute to what you don't want, right? So just make sure it's between 5 to 5.5 or maximum of 6.0. So check it with your pH meter. If you need to adjust it, I have different video on this channel on how to lower the pH of your product or how to raise it. So look on the channel for different way. If you check it and the pH is high, check on how to lower it. Look for a video on the channel on how to lower it. And if you check the pH, if it's too low, look on the channel and look for videos on how to, bump up the pH of your hand wash. So this is about it. So we will expect clarity in the next 24 hours because we added a lot of force to our gum. So for now, this is how it's going to stay. So what you want to do, you can cover it up, right? Or you can bottle it and wait for 24 hours. In the next 24 hours, it should clean out nicely and it's going to give you a nice hand wash. I hope you've picked one of 2 things from this project. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button and the notification icon to be notified of my next video. Also, if you want to learn how to make retail grade beauty product, head over to stablescosmeticformulas.com. That is where I teach cosmetic formulation, retail grade cosmetic formulation, a project at a time. Okay, thank you so much for joining and happy formulating.